And we're back with episode 6 of the Q&A. So, without further ado, let's go on ahead and get started, shall we? Alright, so, I believe I've already answered that question. I don't know if it was rather in episode 1 or 2, but I definitely remember answering that question. So, if anything, I have no reason to answer that question again, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that one. Last question. What do you think about the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit soundtrack? I think it's freaking amazing. I love the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. Just, masterpiece. I have 3 questions. Question 1. Do you like the Lord of the Rings movies? If so, which one is your favorite? Question 2. Have you seen the Hobbit? Okay, basically the same thing. And finally, what if the Dragon's Nine Realms films was actually just as good as the Race to the Edge series? To answer the first question, I would say for my favorite Lord of the Rings movie, it has to be I would say it has to be the first movie. No, wait. It's the third movie. I remember. It's the third movie. So, my favorite Lord of the Rings movie is the third movie. Favorite Hobbit movie? It's definitely Desolation of Smaug. And as for the third question, then I'm pretty sure it'll be less hated by a lot of fans. The Dragon's Nine Realms series will probably be not as hated as it is right now. If anything, I'm pretty sure it'll be loved and respected by a lot of people. So, yeah. Next one. What would happen if you got an evolved form like how Legendary Godzilla did? To be honest, I wouldn't even know what I would do with that evolved form, honestly. I'd probably just keep it just for the hell of it. So, yeah. What are your top 5 least favorite moments in Fairy Tail? The first one is obviously going to be Or's death. I did not like that because it was so sad and so freaking dramatic. The same thing goes to Ultear's death, kind of ish. Question. For number 3, I think it's going to be where Gray is kind of accepting Juvia now. Where back then he was like, "Oh, I don't want you, go away." Now he's just like accepting her. I don't like it. The fourth one's going to be where Natsu kind of acts like an idiot, which is basically every single time. And finally, I would say my last least favorite moment is going to be Urza's fake or stupid sacrifice. I don't know how many she made, but there was one that was definitely my least favorite. So, yeah. What are your top 5 favorite magic abilities from Fairy Tail? I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not pay attention to the names of the magic. If anything, I was just paying more attention to the fights, right, and the story. So I didn't pay too much attention on what the magic was called, on what the magic abilities are. I only know one of them, and that was the Ice Shell move. And that's not my favorite one. It's actually one of my least favorite ones. What if Brooklyn didn't fake her death in Chaos Theory? then say goodbye to the Camp Fam, because if it wasn't for the fact that Brooklyn faked her own death, then I would say, Darius, Kenji, Sammy, Yaz, and Ben would all die in Season 2, Episode 9 and 10. Because it's with Brooklyn did they survive. Because if it wasn't for her, they would all die by the hands of the Baryonyx and Santos. So, yeah. If you were in charge of making Godzilla games, what would you do? I don't know, honestly. I might tell other people to, make games that are very similar to Godzilla Versus, but not too similar. Even some games that are very similar to Godzilla Unleashed, Save the Earth, and Destroy All Monsters. If anything, that's what I would do. If you could change something about the Ben 10 series, what will you do? Good question. If I could change anything in the Ben 10 series, I might make it where a lot of people will I would make it for where people start, I might make it where Ben and Julia's relationship, Julia, god damn, I got her name confused with Julia and Julia, or Julie, yeah, Julie, not Julia, Julie, I might make it for where Ben and Julie's relationship was more likable and more accepted by the fans, and I might make it for where, I might, not have that weird breakup scene between Ben and Julie, because if anything, Ben should have been no, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about a video game. I wasn't talking about you. In fact, that's the stupidest way to break Ben and Julie up. Seriously? That is the way you're gonna break those two characters up? Seriously? That's just pathetic. And stupid. And that screams that they ran out of ideas for Ben and Julie's relationship. So, yeah. Who are your favorite and least favorite human characters in the Transformers movies? Specifically, the Michael Bay movies. Sam, Michaela, Kate, and his girlfriend. I forgot her name was, but she appeared in the Last Night movie. My least favorite human characters are going to be Sam's parents, Kate's daughter, that one whiny little character that appeared in Revenge of the Fallen, Kate's daughter's boyfriend, and finally, I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So, those are my least favorite characters. What are your favorite moments in the Kaiju Girl comic series? Well, you didn't say top 5, so I'm going to say 5 favorite moments. My favorite moments are Godzilla vs. Kiryu, Godzilla vs. Queen Ghidorah, the birth of Space Godzilla, Rodan and Anguirus vs. Mechagodzilla. Sorry. And Burning Godzilla vs. Queen Ghidorah. Those are my favorite moments. If you could make a game about Godzilla the series, aka Zilla Jr., what will it be about? To be honest with you, I have no idea, honestly. I honestly have no idea. I wouldn't even know what to do with a Godzilla the Series video game. If anything, I might just make it to rather a fighting game or something similar to Godzilla Versus. I don't know. How do you feel about scientifically accurate dinosaurs? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Or do you think they are okay? I may not like the idea of scientifically accurate dinosaurs, but that doesn't mean I don't hate them. If anything, I think they're okay. I prefer fictional dinosaurs more than scientifically accurate dinosaurs. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand why people like scientifically accurate dinosaurs, and I don't blame them. But me personally, I prefer fictional dinosaurs more than scientifically accurate dinosaurs. So, yeah. Out of all the fights in Godzilla vs. game, which one did give you the most hard time the most? You could just say the most difficult time the most. Or, But to answer that question, I would say Destroya. Surprisingly, even to this day, Destroya still sometimes gives me a hard time to win or, to fight him better. When I'm playing as other Kaiju, but when I'm playing as Burning Godzilla or Godzilla 2014, it's kind of easy for me to beat him. But besides of that, Destroya is definitely the hardest Kaiju to fight against. So, yeah. Which versions of the human characters in the Jurassic Park franchise do you like better? The novel or the movie versions? I'm going to say the movie versions because they're a bit more funnier and more interesting to watch. Don't get me wrong, I think the novel versions are interesting and all, but I just prefer the movie versions. And it's mostly about Alan and Ellie, because in the movies they have a relationship, but in the novels they don't. The only thing I hate about the movie version is that they changed Alan's personality just a bit, because in the novel he was perfectly fine with kids. If anything, he was great with kids. But in the movies, he was just like, ugh, why me? Why? Why do I have to be next to kids? Like, seriously, why do they change his personality? You know what, I'm gonna make a post about that later. I'm gonna make a post on basically, like, why did they change Alan Grant's personality? If anything, they should have kept his personality similar to the movie version. To the novel version. So that way, Alan and Ellie could, get married and have their own kids. But instead, no. Apparently, Alan doesn't like kids. And Ellie went off to go get married to some other dude. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Well, they got back together in Dominion. That doesn't change the fact that they changed Alan's personality. Oy, oy, oy. Seriously, why? Why did they do that? Seriously. Why?